2. Do we have questions before we get started? Questions about massage or life or raising an ant farm? I'm an expert on all 3 of those things. Secret of the ant farm is do not knock over the ant farm. Yes, Miss Moore.
So we don't have a final thingy for this class?
No.
So we do next class?
You do next class. You have a final end of the year thing next class. That's true, but this class, no. So if you guys kind of keep it up here towards the end, you're just going to kind of slide into home plate. Yeah, it's looking good. We will do review, and I am grading review, but here's how I'm grading review. It's not a test. All I'm doing is I'm grading you to make sure you're listening to review. So here's the way it works. You get like 10 points on review days, but I do subtract a point if you fail to answer a question that somebody else has answered. So let me give you an example. Thank you, Ms. Petrie, because that means you don't understand completely because I didn't explain well. No, it's very helpful to have like a couple of people in the audience with facial expressions because I gauge the entire class after that. But so, Ms. Petrie, if I ask you what are the 3 hamstrings and you give me the wrong answer, that's not a problem at all. But then when you and I go over them and we decide there's semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and biceps femoris, and then I go to Ms. Hansen and she doesn't know the 3 hamstrings, I'm taking a point off because we've now discussed the 3 hamstrings, which means people should be paying attention and taking notes. So I'm not going to penalize anybody for forgetting even the most basic fact. I can be like, what's this? She'll be like, I don't know, an arm. And I'll be like, it's a head. But then the next person I say, what's this? They better say it's a head, because what I don't want people to do is tune out during the, the review process. But so no pressure, because if you're paying attention and maybe even jotting down tiny little notes on stuff you didn't know, like, so if somebody answers a question where you're like, I didn't know that, write it down because I'm probably going to ask you it later. But that day, that's the only thing. And that way we're just reviewing everything. We're going to do systems of the body, but we're really going to spend a lot of time on muscles and bones, right? And this is kind of the format we've been using, right? We kind of come up, and then we review. We come up on next class, then we review. Come up, and we review. And we kind of wrap stuff up. And I think it's a good system. So review is actually my favorite time in the whole class, really. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Maybe, yes, Miss Stanley.
What are you grateful for, huh?
What am I grateful for? Oh my God. I'm grateful that my mom has gotten both shots of the vaccine. I'm grateful that my dad has gotten his first shot and has a second one scheduled. I'm grateful that my daughter and her fiance have gotten their first shot and their second one scheduled, and I'm great that my girlfriend's gotten both her shots. So that a lot of people in my life that I care about are kind of taken care of from this pandemic. Very, very grateful for that. I am grateful, it's deeply grateful. I don't know why I get so tied to this, but I'm very grateful that it looks like all 14 of us are going to graduate this class. I don't know. There's just something about this kind of team thing that I really value. And I think we have something very special here. And so I want to see everybody get across the finish line. So I'm very grateful about that. I'm really grateful for the place I work. I'm grateful for Gateway. I feel like they give me a lot of latitude in how I run stuff, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like they really care about students in general. It's a big organization, but I think they really do. I'm grateful for my coworkers. I'm grateful for Mr. Ibarra and that I get to mess with him every single day. Nothing makes me happier. I'm grateful for our other subs here, Miss Bauer and Miss Waite and Miss Denutel. I really, really like them. I'm grateful that I work in a building where I like everybody. Everybody. I'm really grateful for my boss. She is, I think, the first boss I've ever had that cries about other people. Cries. So when things aren't going well for a student or something, I think it's actually kind of neat to have a leader that actually gets teared up over that. That actually makes me happy. I don't want somebody who's like never, never shaken kind of thing. I am grateful that I got the floor molding done in my son's room, because that's another room that's now done, that we're redoing the house. And I'm really grateful. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you guys. Oh my gosh. I wish I would have put the picture online, but I got up all my, year-round holiday lighting that I think I told everybody about. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, you guys want to see a picture of it? Yes, you do. Hold on. I got to pull up like my Facebook or something. Hold on. This is important. This is what I'm grateful for. So, let's see. How do I go to myself? There we go. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, so let me share my, let me share a tab. Here we go. Bear with me. Okay. All right. You guys see this house? Yeah. That's my house. And so we put up this lighting that goes underneath the eaves of the house. You can kind of see there. And what's cool is that was for President's Day. Red, white, and blue.
That looks so good.
Kind of cool. Thank you for saying.
That's awesome.
So, what's cool about it is you can change the lights with just a click of a remote. So I can have all white, all blue, all red, white, and blue, green for Halloween, green for St. Patty's Day, all that stuff. And I don't have to take them up or take them down. And we can even make them strobe and flash and do all sorts of crazy stuff. And they're permanent, but they're really landscaping lights. They're supposed to be up lighting, but we put them down so they kind of shine around the house. So you should have seen Valentine's Day, we had all red, and the house was just glowing red. Kind of eerie, actually. Miss Stanley, yes.
You literally just answered the question. I was going to ask what color you made it for Valentine's Day.
We did all red, and my daughter kind of made fun of us because she's like, it looks almost eerie because the house was kind of glowing red because it was just red. But anyway, it was just fun. But the idea is I actually like Christmas lights, but I don't like putting them up or taking them down. And so this took me a long time, but these are permanently mounted up there, and they're weatherproof. And now we just go around and go click, 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 click. Here's what we're going to do for today. So now we can have lights for every possible Arbor Day. Arbor Day, green lights. Boom, done. Yeah, you guys don't have Arbor Day lights. No, you don't. I do. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm grateful for, actually. All that stuff and our permanent lights, which are completely useless, but a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun with them already. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yes, Miss Cooper.
It's not useless if it brings you joy.
That's what I told my girlfriend after we spent $600 on lights. She goes, we really probably ought to be spending this money on other things. I said, honey.
Do they make you happy?
Yeah, I tried to tell her that, Miss Cooper. And you know what she said? She said, I'm a very expensive boyfriend. Yeah.
Well,
The audacity. It's true, though. Actually, I'm a very expensive boyfriend, but still. But I was like, you don't need to tell me that. I don't need to hear it.
Mr. Tapscott, what is your zodiac sign?
Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little schizophrenic, yeah. Okay. Anyway, cool. Thank you. All right. Miss Torres, yes.
I would have said that's your Christmas, that's your birthday, that's your Valentine's for like 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that was the idea. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's just that we're doing more important stuff. Like, we really, really need to, remodel the kitchen, stuff like that. But, the lights were easy. The kitchen's hard and expensive. So I was like, I want to do these lights. Anyway, they're completely pointless. Anyway. Okay. Ms. Cooper, do you have anything else to say, or you just left your hand up?
Oh no, sorry.
That's okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So, enough about me. Let's talk about your feet. Yeah. Yeah. Your feet, people. Everybody did well on the homework. I want to explain something. I had a question on there, and I said, what do muscles on the outside of the foot probably do? And it was a leading question. I was looking for a particular answer. By the way, I gave you credit if your answer made sense. Let's get back to talking about, no, Miss Petrie, let's stick to like getting, there's always one in every class. Okay, wait a second. Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to, there, ooh, wow, all right. It is true that if you have a foot like this, that muscles on the leg coming down the side can help to invert or evert the foot. So I gave people credit for that answer. It was a good answer. It's true. Up on the leg, if you're pulling on the sides of the foot, you're going to cause it to invert or evert, right? That makes sense. But I was asking on the foot because I wanted you to think about something. That's a foot. Oh, your face says it all, Miss Petrie.
I thought it was a pizza.
I know, it kind of is. Hold on, it needs a better heel. Okay. Not much better. Okay. So let's talk about this. If I want to pull this big toe out over here, if I want to get stuff to spread out to the sides, where do I need, if I got a rope attached here or a rope attached little toe, where do I need to be to pull them out to the sides?
Wouldn't it be the medial or lateral side?
Yeah, I need to be on the sides of the foot. So, muscles on the side of the foot tend to abduct. Now, I need to make something very clear here because it's a little bit confusing. Abduction and adduction, you all know what it means. I know you do. But when it comes to feet and hands, we talk about it relative to the foot or the hand. So, this is me abducting digit number 2. This is me abducting digit number 5 and 4 because I can't stop myself. There. Anyway, they're talking about they kind of count the hand as the midline. So, if the big toe comes out here or the little toe comes out here, they're both abducting from the foot. From the foot. And so stuff on the outsides of feet and hands abduct. If you want to adduct these guys, you've got to be somewhere towards the center of the foot to pull these back in. So, why am I telling you all this stuff? It's because smart people don't keep small facts in their heads. It's hard. I mean, yes, you can be one of those people who just memorize this stuff really well, but actually very smart people sometimes actually have a hard time memorizing stuff very well because they're smart and they don't want to remember some small little tiny muscle. And so what I'm trying to do is give you all these rules that will help you with hand and foot muscles forever. So, let me give you an example. Okay. This is our giant foot. We know a lot of stuff now. If I've got a muscle attached to the big toe, what word is probably in it? Hallucis, right? I hope that's how it's spelled. It might be H-U-L. Is it I think it's hallucis. Hallucis. If it's on the top of the foot, what's probably in that muscle too? Anybody? I'm now reduced to one student.
Is it extensor?
Extensor, thank you. Yeah, top of the foot it's going to be extensor. Bottom of the foot it's going to be what?
Flexor.
Flexor. Side of the foot,
Abductor.
abductor. Abductor. So now you guys can do all sorts of fancy stuff. If I see a muscle here on top of the foot, let's say we're looking down on this foot, this is probably extensor hallucis brevis. If it's on the side, it's probably abductor hallucis brevis. If it's underneath, we can't see underneath, but if it's underneath, it's probably flexor hallucis brevis. If it's going from the hallucis towards the middle of the foot, and there is a muscle kind of like this, it's probably adductor hallucis brevis. That works 100% of the time. I've just lumped about 50 muscles in with these things about digiti minimi, digitorum, hallucis, pollicis, flexors, extensors, and abductors and adductors. You now have all these clues to figure out stuff. So, here is a foot. Yep, here is a foot. Miss Yanes. Sorry, we're going in. We're going in, Miss Yanes. I don't know if this muscle actually exists, but one like it does. I have a muscle running on the bottom of this foot going to the big toe on the bottom. What is that muscle probably called?
Flexor hallucis. Brevis.
Yeah, because there's probably a longus up the leg. But flexor hallucis brevis. She'll be right about 95% of the time if she uses this. Right? Now, she doesn't have to memorize that anymore. She can actually be on the bottom of the foot wiggling the toe like this and feel something wiggle underneath her, and she'll be like, that's got to be flexor hallucis brevis. Miss Hanson, I have a muscle running underneath the foot, and it goes to the 5th digit here. Underneath the foot. What's that probably called?
Flexor digitus minimus brevis.
Yep, flexor digiti minimi brevis. Yeah, yeah. It might also just be flexor digiti minimi if there's no longus, but that's excellent. Like, that's excellent. Fantastic, yeah. Miss Stanley, I've got a muscle, doesn't run up the leg, it's just on top of the foot. It's on top of the foot, and it's running to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th digits. It's on top of the foot. What is this muscle?
So that would be extensor digitorum. Do you say it runs up the leg?
No.
Or it doesn't?
Doesn't run up the leg.
So it's extensor digitorum brevis.
Brevis. And we know she's right on that because we know there's an extensor digitorum longus. So that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And if I'm rubbing the sides of the feet, Miss Petrie, I'm rubbing the side of this foot and there's a muscle that inserts into the big toe. Just on the side of the foot. What's that muscle probably called?
So would that be an abductor? So it'd be an abductor hallucis brevis?
Probably, yeah. Definitely an abductor hallucis. It just matters if there's a longus too. But abductor hallucis brevis would be an excellent, excellent guess that even somebody good at anatomy wouldn't catch if there wasn't a longus. They'd be like, oh yeah, right there.
So is it just that it's on the side of the big toe that it's an abductor?
Because it could pull the big toe out if it flexed. It would pull it out.
Okay, so if it's on the pinky, on the 5th toe, does that also an abductor?
What's
So
the
that
name
would
of
be an abductor digitorum minimus brevis something.
abductor digiti minimi.
Digiti minimi.
Yeah, brevis if there's a longus. I honestly don't remember. I don't think there's a longus on that one, but it doesn't matter. The fact is,
Okay,
abductor
so
digiti minimi. Yes, because
on either side.
you can't pull out to the side unless you're on the side. So
Okay.
abductor hallucis, abductor digiti, extensor hallucis, extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi, flexor hallucis, flexor digitorum, flexor digiti minimi. Do we see how this works? And this works on hands too.
Perfect.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, that's like 40 muscles by the time we get done with the whole thing. This helps you dissect what's happening with muscles. It also helps you know when you're on the foot, like when I'm on the side, I actually might wiggle a toe and abduct and adduct it so that I'm actually pinning and stretching the muscle on the side. If I'm on the bottom, I might be flexing and extending it, so I'm pinching and stretching the muscle on the bottom. If I'm on the top, it lets you make these decisions. And it lets you remember a lot of muscles that you don't want to remember every last little thing, right? You just want to have a rough idea where you're at. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be blunt, half-ass your anatomy, but that's not what we're talking about at all. We're actually talking about understanding it at a deeper level so you can start to use the knowledge you have to put all this stuff together. Cool? Yay! Good. One person thinks it's cool. Okay, we'll take it. I'm good with that. All right, let's look at...
Yay!
Thank you. Really appreciate that. Let's look at this. I think, are we looking at... I think we're looking at flexors today. Let me make sure really quick, everybody, before you think I would know since I'm teaching this, but no, we're looking at both. We're going to put them together. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's look at feet. This is the bottom of a foot, and there are some really crazy, fascinating muscles on the bottom of your foot. Note, there is a small muscle right in the center there. It's not that small, but I meant it's short. That goes to the digits. It's on the bottom of the foot, and so therefore it is called flexor digitorum brevis. Does anybody notice anything unusual about the flexor digitorum brevis?
This is probably going to be so wrong. It looks like it's connected to the other ones, like it looks like one muscle, but it's not.
Yeah, it's one
It
thing.
branches off.
Yes, Miss. By the way, that was very good, Miss Cooper. Truly, Miss Stanley. Yes, do you want to add to that?
I mean, what I'm noticing, I wouldn't say it's necessarily unusual, but it looks like it has 3 or 4 heads.
It does. You're right. It looks like it's almost got a head for each toe. I like that.
Yeah.
Well said. Very good visual. Very, very good. Yeah, Miss Petrie.
Are you talking about the heads on the bottom of the foot? Is this what we're talking about? Sorry, I was making a note and then I
That's okay. We're talking about the
missed the
flexor.
whole question.
The flexor digitorum brevis. Do you notice anything unusual about this muscle in looking at this picture here?
Right, I saw in the book that it actually looks like it's the pan-and-serenus.
Pezantherinus?
Yeah.
I guess I could see that. It's not, by the way, right? Pezantherinus on your knee. Right, okay.
Right, but it's like the same kind of setup though as the pan-and-serenus.
Pezantherinus, because you're seeing these muscles come together. I like that. They
Yeah.
all hook to the heel. What about Miss Monreal? What do you see?
Well, I don't know. It just seems like the ligament, is it like hooking around to the top of the toe, or is it just to the sides? Because I think like the...
Miss Monreal, half of what you said is absolutely brilliant. The other half makes me want to jab a pen into my eye because you just used the word ligament to describe a muscle attaching to bone.
Tendon.
Oh, God, thank you. I was going to go jump off the roof, but it was too much work. I was too depressed. No, okay, you're absolutely right. So it is the tendon attachment that I think is very unusual. Guys, look at the tendon attachment. It forks out like a snake's tongue on each toe and grabs onto them.
So my question is, does it hook onto the side of the toe, or does it go all the way to the front?
No, goes to the side and the bottom of the toe,
Okay.
as far as I know. But what's interesting is what snakes up through the snake's tongue.
The flexor digitorum longus tendons.
Yeah. What a clever thing for your body to do. So the tendon that comes from up your leg, just so you guys can see, this is kind of neat what your body did. It's got these tendons going way up your leg. Those are your flexor digitorum longus tendons. Yeah. Where do we find the flexor digitorum longus? Flexor.
In our leg.
Yes, in our leg. Where though? Front, back, side,
in the
top.
back.
What?
Oh, wait. Hold on. In the back.
Yes, thank you. It's in the back, and it actually comes around the medial malleolus to grab onto these toes. Well done, though. Flexor digitorum longus and flexor hallucis longus are in back, right? Along with tibialis posterior underneath all your calf muscles. So, all these come here, and they grab onto the tips of your toe, and this runs up your leg. Then your body says, well, we need a little extra turbocharge to this. We're going to make a brevis. This is flexor digitorum longus. It's long. We're going to make a brevis, but it's got to grab onto these toes too. So the brevis hooks on like this. It actually splits its tendon and grabs onto the toe lower and makes a muscle that hooks into the heel. Very cool. Very cool. It grabs on like this, and the longest comes up between there and grabs on the tip of the toe, and you've now got very powerful flexors for your digits. You've got a flexor digitorum longus, a flexor digitorum brevis. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. Do you guys see the muscles on the side of the foot, kind of down by the heel? What are their names? The one on the toe side, big toe side, is called abductor hallucis. And the one on the little toe side is called abductor digiti minimi. They don't actually have the word brevis in them because there is no longus. There's nothing living up the leg. You don't need to have powerful abductions of your foot, apparently. Let's go down a layer. Let's remove these muscles we just talked about. This is if we remove these muscles we just talked about. So it gets even weirder. This guy, this flexor digitorum longus, has another little muscle attached to it underneath here called the quadratus plantae. It's a four-sided muscle in the plantar region called the quadratus plantae. If you can see, this is kind of hard to imagine, but these guys are coming off around the medial malleolus, so they can get pulled off that way. This guy attaches in here to make sure they stay on track. It actually turbocharges those tendons. So the quadratus plantae actually is a muscle that attaches into the tendons of the flexor digitorum longus. It's kind of crazy. Feet are very complex. Yes, Miss Monreal.
Sorry.
What?
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, it's going to get crazier, so let me back up. Let's build up the foot. How about that? Let's get a big foot. All right, I don't know why my feet keep getting worse and worse, but that's the foot you get. Okay. We decided we've got this muscle that's on this is the bottom of the foot. So I've got a muscle going here, going around the malleolus of the heel and going up the leg. I can't show that because we're looking at the bottom foot, but it's going way up the leg. Off the medial malleolus. Okay. What is this muscle called on the bottom of the foot that goes up the back of the leg, that goes around the medial malleolus and attaches to 4 of your digits?
Is that the flexor longus?
Yeah, it is the flexor digitorum longus. Now the problem with this muscle is it kind of pulls off this way because it's going around the malleolus. So it actually has another muscle that is attached to its tendons off the heel here called the quadratus plantae. It's pulling on these two. It actually helps keep them on track. And it's actually part of these tendons. So its origin is the heel, and its insertion is into these tendons that then insert in these toes. So the quadratus plantae helps pull on those strings, while the flexor digitorum muscle up the leg helps pull on those strings. They are truly connected. The problem is it gets even crazier because you have a muscle we have not yet studied called the lumbricals. And I'm just going to mention this. You'll probably forget it. We'll mention it because we'll add it in later. But the lumbricals actually have an origin off these tendons as well. And they kind of insert it up here as well. They help flex the toes too. They're called the lumbricals. So there's a lot working off the flexor digitorum longus lumbricals, yeah. Flexor digitorum longus tendon. It's got a turbocharger of the quadratus plantae pulling it here. It lives up the leg. And off it, it's got little lumbricals that grab on too, that use it as an origin. We will study this more. I'm just trying to give you a roadmap, kind of the overlay of the bottom of the foot. It's crazy. Now, then we said, on top of this, on top of all this, more superficial was this forked tongue muscle that runs down to the calves, to the calcaneus, to the bone here, that we said was the flexor digitorum brevis. And that was in the slide before. So even if you forget everything I just said, which we will go over it again, you should remember feet are very, very complex, and this is one of the reasons I'm obsessed with them and think people should spend more time on them. I mean, this is the most complicated muscle we have in the whole body, really. You've got this flexor digitorum longus grabbing the toes from up the leg, from up the back of the leg, right? Then you've got a quadratus plantae muscle helping pull on those tendons too, to kind of keep them on track inside the foot. Then you've got a flexor digitorum brevis forking out around each toe to get around those tendons and help pull on it too. Then you've also got lumbricals coming off the flexor digitorum longus tendons. So I'm not expecting that all to soak in. I'm just saying it's a very complex muscle because feet have to be very complex. Doesn't really actually matter that my hands can do all the neat stuff they can do. I just need to be able to go, eat it, right? I just need to grab stuff and eat it with my hands. Your feet, if they change just a tiny little bit, you're not standing upright anymore. They need to be highly articulate. Highly articulate. Okay, so let's see if we can go down another layer. If we go down another layer, we've got a very interesting setup.
Mr. Tapscott?
Yeah.
So flexors are on the bottom of the foot, which means that they would have to be posterior leg then?
Yes. Thank you for what you just said. I was about to actually follow up with that question. So flexors for the foot are bottom of the foot or back of the leg. Plantar region of the foot or posterior leg, which is exactly what you just said, Miss Petrie. I'm just repeating what you said. Extensors are top of the foot, which we call the dorsal region, or the anterior or lateral section of the leg. Yeah. And it makes sense. Extending is kind of happening in front of the foot. I got to be in front of the leg or on top of the foot. Flexing is happening underneath. I got to either be underneath the foot or in back of the foot or in back of the leg to make that happen. Abductors have to be out on the sides. They have to be. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, thought maybe I'd do better, but it didn't really happen. Okay. What if I have a muscle? Oh, I didn't even make the big toe right. Hold on. You don't even know which side's the big toe. All right. There. That's my big toe over there. Now don't look at your book for a second. You don't need to. What do you suppose this muscle does, and what would it be called that attaches to the big toe? And who wants to tell me? What happens if I pull on this?
Would it abduct it?
Yeah, so what would you call that muscle, ma'am?
Abductor, brevis, hollister.
Yeah. It'd be hallucis brevis, but there is no longus, so it'd just be hallucis. Yeah. Adductor hallucis. You nailed it. You nailed it. You've never learned about this thing before, but that's exactly what that is. And now if you look at the slide, you'll see this thing that looks kind of like a number 7. And that's its job, lucky number 7. It's to pull the big toe in. Now, why is that important? It's not so important in the way we think of it. It's not like my big toe is just falling out all the time. It's because part of my arch of my foot is this way. It's not just this way. And that adductor hallucis helps keep the lateral arch of the foot together as you step down every time. So it gets really sore. Now remember, this is down to the 3rd layer. Remember, we were just here. We tore off a layer of muscle. We tore off another layer of muscle to get down here. There's a lot of muscle in the foot. There's a lot going on. And we haven't even talked about all the ligaments and stuff like that. There's hundreds of ligaments in the foot. We're not even going to talk about them. And then we also see, by the way, a short muscle going to the big toe on the bottom. Short muscle going to the big toe on the bottom is flexor hallucis brevis. Way, way down there deep. Cool, cool, cool. So, you don't have to memorize all this. I just want this type of thinking that some of you are displaying, which is this thinking of, gosh, if it goes to the big toe, it's hallucis. If it goes to the little toe, it's digiti minimi. If it goes to the thumb, by the way, it's pollicis. That will come in handy in your next class. If it goes to 3 or 4 of the other toes, it's digitorum. If it's on the bottom or the back of the leg, it's a flexor. If it's on the front of the leg or the top of the foot, it's an extensor. If there's a longus, there's probably a brevis. Well, there is a brevis if there's a longus. If there's not a longus, there's just a nothingness. If it's on the outside, it's an abductor. If it's on the inside, it could be an adductor. It could be pulling it back in. You could now look at pictures of unlabeled feet and kind of muddle your way through. If you had a word bank, you'd be like, well, that's probably the adductor hallucis right there because it's attached to the big toe. It looks like it's going to pull it back in the center of the foot. That's what you would do. Very helpful to the test at the end of the year, because the test at the end of the year has some questions like this where it's looking to see, can you not even be dead on right, can you be kind of right? If you get into a complicated area like the forearms, which we're going to do later, it's just impossible to remember everything. But can you be like, oh, I'm on the front of the forearm, so it's got to be a flexor. It's going to the thumb. It's got to be flexor pollicis. There's probably a brevis, so it's probably a flexor pollicis longus. Can you do that kind of stuff? I think it's very exciting because I don't like memorizing stuff. I don't have the patience for it. Cool. Questions? Thoughts? This is fun. This is good. This is good news. You should be celebrating right now. You should hear champagne popping. Boop. It's a little early, but with orange juice, it's always okay. All right. Top of the foot. We're not going to get into this yet. All right. Let's do, before we get to all these muscles that we're going to specifically talk about today, let's do some quick fact checking to make sure that we have everybody here with us. Okay. Miss Bolotic, where are flexors of the foot found? I'm looking for 2 locations.
Like on top and the bottom? Is that what you're trying to ask me?
I'm looking for that kind of answer. Please don't give the one you just gave, but I'm looking for that type of answer, yes.
Like specifically what muscles?
No. I'm looking for some general rules of thumb, kind of like general rule of thumb. Like polysis is a general rule of thumb. If a muscle's got the word polysis in it, it's going to my thumb. So I'm just saying, if I was going to find flexors of the foot, of the toe and the foot and things like that, what 2 locations, general locations around the foot and the leg, would I find flexors?
So if it's hallucis,
Anything.
the tattoo, the toe.
That's true.
If
But would I find it on the top of the foot, bottom of the foot, front of the leg, back of the leg, side of the foot, other side of the foot, side of the leg, that kind of stuff? Like, where would I find them? What region of the body would I find them in? Flexors of the foot.
If it's on top, it's a extensor.
It's a what?
It extends the foot if it's on top.
That is correct. Okay, that's good news. So, but I'm asking you're right, by the way. So that kind of gets you on the right track. So if it's a flexor, where does it live?
On the top of the foot.
I thought you just told me extensors live there. Do they live there together in harmony?
Extensors at the bottom. It's on the side of the. It's in adductor.
All right, hold on. Well, I'm confusing you. So wait 1 second. Let's back up. Pretend this is my foot.
Mm-hmm.
What are my toes doing right now?
Flexing.
Yes, good. Where would the strings have to be tied to make this happen?
Calcaneus.
What?
Probably be attached to the calcaneus.
Sure. That's even a better answer I was looking for. So flexors would be found on the bottom of my foot or the back of my leg, because that's where they'd have to be to cause me to do that. That's what I'm asking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you actually know the answer. I think I'm confusing you with the way I asked the question, because you knew this was flexion, and you already said calcaneus, which is on the bottom of the foot, and that's all I mean. I mean that you generally find flexors of the foot on the bottom of the foot and the back of the leg, because these are the places that could pull that. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, cool. I think you already knew that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse you more.
It's okay.
It's okay, Mr. Tapscott. I'm used to it. I've been with you for 6 months. Okay, Mr. Kondaris, where would I find extensors of the foot primarily? What 2 locations?
On the top of the foot.
Yes, that's 1 location.
Inside of the foot.
How about front of the leg?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So because they're pulling up here on top and in front would be the same kind of thing. Cool. So what's the word for on top of the foot?
Like.
It's strange, actually. It's a word that we use in other areas of the body. Use it for the back of my hands, back of my back, top of my foot.
Posterior.
No.
When you said back to the back, that's
I know. I know you're on. Yeah, I mean, you made a very good guess based on what I told you. Dorsal, top of the foot is your dorsal region.
Right.
Yep, back of your hand is your dorsal region too. So dorsal region, and what do we call the front of the leg? There's a couple things you can call
Anterior.
it. Anterior leg, we'll take that. Crural or anterior leg, I'll take either one of those. Thank you very much, sir. Miss Hunter.
Yes.
Muscles found on the side of the foot, far on the side, as far on the side as they can be on either side. Those muscles are probably what? What are they probably? What action?
I originally thought abductor.
Please keep thinking that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't even say whatever else you're thinking. Just X that out of your mind. Abductors, yeah, they're on the side. They're abductors. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Nguyen.
Yeah.
Miss Nguyen, muscles that have the word holosis in them are probably going where?
Complete out again.
Muscles with the word holosis in them probably attached to what thing?
In the photo.
What? In the foot, if a muscle has the word holosis in it, where does that muscle go?
Muscle in the come to in the leg come to photo. Big toe.
Big toe. Thank you. That's all I want to know. Big toe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Felix Osuna, muscles with the word digiti minimi in it go where?
That goes to the pinky toe.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Harper, muscles with digitorum in them go where?
It goes to the second to fourth finger toes.
Sure. Second to fourth, second to fifth. Depends. But yes, very good. Thank you. Miss Moore. Hi. What two places, one on the foot, one on the leg, do I find flexors?
The top of the foot. Wait, where? Hold on. Flexors. The side. Dorsey. Oh, family flex. Wait,
I like what I heard come out of there for a second. What action am I doing right now with my hand that's pretending to be a foot? But it's true for my hand. What?
Extend? No, that's flex.
Yeah, extending is really extending. It's extending my fingers. This is flexing. Okay, where do muscles have to be to make this happen?
Flexors.
No, not the name of the muscle. Do they live on top of the foot or on the bottom of the foot, the front of the leg, or the back of the leg?
The back of the leg?
Yes. And where on the foot?
Just back of the foot?
There is no back of the
No, the
foot.
side of the foot. Is it the side of the foot?
Wouldn't things on the
Because
side?
if it's the back,
What?
we go from the back of the calf to the side of the inner, Mr. Jessica, I don't know.
All right, Miss Moore. Okay. Whew. I'm glad review's coming. I'm glad review's coming. Okay. Miss Moore. If I am a muscle and I can only do one thing, and I want to get this telephone over here, I've got to be over here to pull it to me, right?
Yeah.
I can only pull. If I want it over there, I can't pull it over there. So things on the side of the feet tend to pull things out from the side of the feet, which we call an abduction. Things on the bottom of the feet tend to pull them down like they are flexing. Things on top tend to pull them up like they are extending. So flexors live on the back of the leg, but also the bottom of the foot, which is called the plantar region. But don't worry, I'm going to do you all a favor and ask you this question 75 more times tomorrow. All right, Miss Torres. It's everybody's confused. Miss Torres.
Yes.
Ms. Torres, where are extensors found on the foot and leg?
Extensors are found on the top, which would be on the interior
Well, top, actually the foot is called dorsal.
dorsal.
Dorsal. And where else?
And then on top and front.
Front. What's the word for front?
Anterior.
Anterior leg. So dorsal region of the foot, which is the top, and the anterior leg, which is also called the crural. Good. Let's just review everything for everybody. That's where extensors are found. Where are flexors found on the foot?
They are found on the bottom.
Yep.
And on the bottom of the foot, which are plantar.
Yeah, plantar region. Cool.
Okay, and then in the back, which is the posterior of the leg.
Yes, thank you so much. Or the sural region. You were right, by the way. I'm just throwing in extra words. So, if a muscle is found right on the sides of the foot, that muscle might be a what?
An abductor.
Abductor, yes. If a muscle is going to the big toe, it's going to have what word in it?
Hallucis.
If a muscle is going to the little toe, it's going to have what word in it?
Digit, mini-me.
Yeah, if a muscle is going to 2 to 5 or 2 to 4 digits, it's going to have what in it?
Digitorium.
Thank you. If a muscle is really long and going up the leg, it's probably going to have what word in it?
Longus.
Yeah, if it's really short and there happens to be a longus, it's going to be called what?
Brevis.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool, cool, cool. All right, everybody. Ms. Torres just outlined everything there. I'm going to talk to you all about that tomorrow, but that's a good overview of stuff, so you can help kind of pick your way through it. All right. Let's review the bones of the foot before we talk about muscles that go on top of those bones of the foot, right? By the way, let's break this down a little bit. That was very good. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. I have a... Good. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Pat Scott?
Yeah.
I didn't want to not get back in class, but I do have to get off class real quick just to make a phone call. My daughter had to go to the ER, so I need to call and find out what's going on.
Yes, you do. Yes, call her. Call her.
Okay, I'll call. I'll be back.
Let us know when you're back. Cool. All right, buddy. Your leg. I know that I'm a terrible drawer, but your leg has a big bone and a little bone in it, and it rests on another bone down here before it meets the foot. What is the big bone in your leg called, Miss Hunter?
It's the tibia.
Yeah, you kind of mixed the two there, but tibia. We'll take tibia.
Tibia. I'm sorry, I get those two tibia, but I got it right.
You did.
T because of the thing.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you.
Okay.
Cool. Miss Balodic, what is the big bone in the leg called?
The pig bone? Like in the thigh?
No, I'm sorry, in the leg. Not in the thigh. In the leg. It's the exact answer that Miss Hunter just gave, but I just want to see if you're listening. And we were talking about it last week, too. This one gets you. That's why I keep asking you this question.
Yeah. The femur?
That's in your thigh. So if you go below your femur meets a bone at your knee, and that's your leg bone. And what do we call that bone?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the toes and all that, trying to remember those ones.
Miss Blotnick, it's okay. Yes, Miss Moore.
Oh, my bad. That was an accident. I was just gonna answer. That was all.
Well, do you have the answer for which bone it is?
Yeah, tibia.
Tibia. What's its little brother next to it, or little sister next to it?
Fibula.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am. So, Miss Blotnick, the big bone, your shin bone is called your tibia. And the little bone next to the tibia is called the fibula. So the big bone going down to your foot is called your tibia. This is your fibula, this little bone.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So what is the big bone in your leg called, your shin bone?
The tibia.
Yeah. And what's the little guy next to it called?
The fibula.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Stanley, do you know what bone this is that the tibia meets when it becomes part of the ankle? Like that it's actually resting on? Starts with a T. We have not talked about it a lot.
Is it the talus?
It is the talus, and I commend you for knowing that. Thank you. This is the talus, and believe it or not, everybody, I mean, this is not accurate because the foot would go straight forward here, but the talus then sits on top of the calcaneus, and all the rest of the foot comes down here. Yeah. The talus sits on top of the calcaneus, which is your heel bone, and everything else comes out from there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Nguyen, what foot bone is this right here?
Big big ball, big toe, wait.
It is the big toe.
Yeah.
And it's the furthest bone in the big toe. What do we call that bone?
You call plantar?
I wouldn't call it plantar, but it is in the plantar region, so I appreciate that.
So we call.
So let me give you. You want me to give you a little hint?
Oh, wait, one more minute.
Miss Nguyen, would you like some help? A hint?
Wait, one more minute for me. Wait.
Okay. Take your time. So, Miss Nguyen,
Yes.
I think I need to give you a hint because it's not. It is the big toe, but that's not really key to what bone it is.
Oh, I remember. Wait, one more. Oh, okay. I think I know the planta, but
Phalange?
phalange.
It's a phalange, so which phalange is it? Because all of these, there are 14 phalanges in one foot and one hand. So actually, everybody, that's 56 phalanges in your body. And we name them a certain way so that we know which ones we're talking about. So which phalange is this, Miss Nguyen?
So you think in the phalange phalange big? I don't know. Phalange in the.
Well, let's give it a number. Let's give it a number.
Number 1.
It is number 1. Okay, so this is phalange number 1, but so is this. So which phalange is this one?
Meter.
What?
Number 2. The meter, right?
Did you say middle?
Yeah.
So But what's this in the middle of? This is the most distant phalange number 1 you've got. So what do we call that?
I call the first.
Call it what?
The first in the phalange.
Yeah, which phalange is this? It's phalange number 1, but there's 2 number 1s. How do I talk about this one? Is that phalange distal or proximal, Miss Nguyen?
So please say again.
Is this phalange distal or proximal?
Oh, distal.
How about we call that one distal phalange number 1? Yeah, you like that idea, good. What would I call this one then?
So that is that you say middle distal.
Wait, what's this phalange up here first? Tell me that one again.
You say the flange in the foot, right?
This is distal phalange number 1, correct?
Yeah.
Distal phalange number 1. What is this one?
So the distal flange number 2. Middle. Oh my God.
This is distal phalange number 1. This is proximal phalange number 1.
Oh.
Right? Distal is far away, proximal is here. This is not a phalange down here. This is a metatarsal. Yeah?
Yeah. So
Let me ask you another question just to make sure you got this in your head. What is this?
I think a dorsal flanker in the meeting.
So, Mr. Yen, follow me here because I'm about to ask you a whole lot of questions. We number fingers and toes like this, just so you know. Oh, jeez. Not like that, we don't. Oh, gosh. Bad teacher. Okay? Your big toe or your thumb is 1. Your index finger or your next toe is 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is your pinky. Yeah? Do you understand that?
Yeah. So,
okay.
So you call in the dorsal flange in the number 5.
So, distal, is that what you're trying to say? Distal phalange number 5? Not dorsal, but distal?
That is the distal.
Yes.
Yes.
Distal. So this is distal phalange number 5. What's this?
So did you call the dorsal?
Not dorsal. Proximal. Do you remember distal and proximal? Mr. Yen? It's okay if you don't. Do you know what distal and proximal mean? Yes or no? Do you know?
In the fourth, I don't know.
Miss Nguyen?
Yeah.
Do you know what distal means?
Distal and the mean in the.
It's okay if you don't. But I'm not here. All right, let me review because I'm not hearing you do. It's okay either way. But distal means far away, proximal means closer.
Okay.
Okay? This is farther away, so it's distal, number 1. This is closer to your body, so it's proximal, number 1. This is really far away, it's distal, number 5. This is closer, it's proximal, number 5. This happens to be middle, number 5, because it's between these two. But distal means far away, proximal means close. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's this bone here?
Meter. That is the posture.
Let's do a little drill together, you and I. Follow me. All these bones are called phalanges.
Yeah.
So that's a phalange? Yeah?
Yeah, and
So just say phalange.
phalange.
Phalange. Good. Phalange. Say distal phalange number 1.
Distal phalange number 1.
Good. Distal phalange number 2.
Distal phalange number 2.
Good. Distal phalange number 3.
Distal phalange number 3.
Distal phalange number 4.
Distal phalange number 4.
Distal phalange number 5.
Distal phalange number 5.
Proximal phalange number 1.
Causal phalange number 5.
Yes.
Number 1.
1. Proximal.
Proximal. I don't know that.
It's hard. By the way, Miss Nguyen, I know it's hard. I'm sorry. Proximal. Proximal phalange number 2.
Possible phalange number 2.
Give me this one.
Possible and phalange number 3.
Yes. 2 more. Proximal.
Possible phalange number 4.
Good. Last one here.
So that's why in the possible phalange number 5.
Yeah. And these are middle phalanges. So this is middle phalange number 2, middle phalange number 3, middle phalange. There is no middle phalange here. Because there's only
Why
2.
not call in the middle and so they call in the causal?
Why don't we call it medial instead of proximal? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Why not call in the middle and the cannot call that?
Well, medial and proximal mean very, very different things.
Oh.
Medial means towards the center, towards the midline. Proximal means close, and it's a little bit different. So like your big toe is actually kind of medial towards your body. But we're talking about how far stuff is, how far it is out away. And proximal and distal help us figure out stuff away, like down a line.
So on the first in the you call the dorsal, the distal and the plantar number 1, but in the
By the way, it's not distal plantar number 1.
So in the middle you call the causal, right? Causal plantar number 1, right?
I'm sorry. Wait, what was the question again?
But the first you call the dorsal
Distal?
plantar number 1.
Distal phalange number 1?
Yeah, distal phalange number 1.
Okay.
And so middle you call the causal, right?
So what's the next one you're saying?
You say in the number very close to in the dorsal plantar number 1, you call the causal plantar number 1, right?
Well, you keep saying dorsal, and it's kind of throwing me off. Dorsal means back. Distal phalange number 1?
Yeah, and so in the middle you call the distal plantar number 1.
No, distal phalange, not plantar. Please don't say plantar. This is the plantar region, but this is a phalange.
Okay, distal phalange
Yeah.
number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so in the middle and close to the distal phalange number 1, and you call the causal
Proximal.
phalange number 1.
Yes, proximal phalange number 1. Yes.
Okay, now I understand.
Oh, good. Yay, thank you for being patient with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
But I think about the meter and the foot and middle only that. I don't know about how to talk to the gosho.
Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good. Cool. Okay. Let's see. All right. Mr. Kandaris, what is this right here?
Tarsal. Metatarsal.
Yeah, metatarsal. But so is this, sir. And so is...
Wait, what? Say that again.
So is this, and so is this, so is this, so is this. So what's this?
The hallucis.
What's this bone, sir? You just said it a second ago.
Metatarsal.
Good. But so is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. So what's this?
The big one?
Is that what they call it, massage? The big metatarsal?
No.
What do you suppose we might call it? Let me ask you a leading question that will help you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
What's this?
The big toe.
Yes, but what's this bone? Mr. Nguyen and I were just talking about it. This is a phalange. So is this, so is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. These are all phalanges. So how do I talk about this one?
Digit number 1.
It is phalange number 1, and it's distal phalange number 1 since there's 2 of them. What do you suppose this is?
Proximal phalange number 1.
I actually like your logic there, sir. Metatarsal number 1.
Metatarsal number 1, yeah.
Metatarsal number 1. So, sir, what's this?
Metatarsal number 5.
Yes, thank you, sir. Oh, we need review, people. Okay. Cool. Miss Felix Osuna.
Yes.
All right. So, Miss Felix Osuna, what's this?
Oh, that's distal phalanx number 2.
Thank you. Distal phalanx number 2 or phalange number 2. Both are correct. That was wonderful. No, you're 100% correct. Don't even change yourself. I'm just saying it in different ways. What's this?
That's the metatarsal number 2.
Yeah, metatarsal number 2. What is this? Do you know?
Is that the cuboid?
No, that's this. The cuboid is over here. Good guess, though. Really good guess. The cuboid is here. There's 3 of these with the same name, basically. Those are the cuneiforms.
The medial.
And I hope I'm saying it right, actually. You know what, everybody? Let's stop 1 second. I say that word all the time. Pronounce. Let's see how they pronounce it. Hold on, everybody. Listen up for a second.
Cuneiform.
Oh, cuneiform.
Cuneiform.
Well, pretty close. All right, so those are cuneiforms, apparently, not cuneiforms. Cuneiforms. Which cuneiform is this? Remember, that's your big toe there.
Could that be the medial?
It is the medial. Thank you very much. Which would make this one the what?
The lateral.
And it would make this one the what?
Middle?
Middle. And you just outlined the difference between medial and middle. This one's most medial. This one happens to be in the middle. Yeah, very good job. Thank you very much, ma'am. Miss Harper.
Yes, sir.
Miss Harper, what's this bone right here?
That's distal phalanges number 4.
Not this bone.
That one?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the middle
Yeah.
phalanges number 4.
Good. Middle phalange number 4. What's this?
That's metatarsal number 4.
Good. What's this?
That's lateral cuneiform.
Yeah, cuneiform? Cuneiform, I think is what they said. Yeah, cuneiform. Cool. What's this?
What is that? Cuboid?
Cuboid. Do you know what this long bone here is?
No.
Starts with an N.
N?
Yeah.
Navicular.
Navicular. Good job. Really good job. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Moore! Miss Moore, what is this bone right here?
That's the phalanx, I mean.
What?
Phalanx number 2.
Which phalanx number 2?
Distal phalanx number 2.
You sure it's not proximal?
Wait, that's distal. No, it's because I'm really doing the movement. That's distal. That's proximal. So, proximal phalanx. No. Yeah, proximal phalanx number 2.
Isn't this proximal phalanx number 2?
Oh my goodness. Distal phalanx number 2.
Isn't that distal phalanx number 2?
So the middle one?
Yeah! Middle phalanx number 2. You're overthinking it. Good job. Cool. All right. Miss Yanes. Miss Yanes, what's this?
Distal phalange number 2. Or I mean proximal.
Proximal phalange number 2. What's this?
That's metatarsal number 2.
Yes, what's this?
That's middle cuneiform.
Yep. What's this?
The navicular.
Yeah, and this is not correct down here because it would be huge, but this is your calcaneus bone. Good. Cool. Okay. Miss Cooper.
Hello.
Hello. Miss Cooper, what's this right here?
What is that? That is the distal phalanx. Oh wait, so it's a medial one?
Is it middle or medial?
Middle.
Middle, because it's between two things. Middle what?
The middle 5th metatarsal?
Middle 5th metatarsal. Is that this? But that's this.
Wait,
Isn't it a phalange? I thought it was a phalange.
It's a medial phalange?
Middle or medial?
Middle.
Oh, middle phalange. Which middle phalange?
The 5th one.
Oh! 5th middle phalange. Cool.
Yeah, I see that.
What's this?
The 3rd middle phalange.
Yeah, what's this?
The 2nd middle phalange.
What's this?
That's the 4th distal phalanx.
Yeah, what's this?
That is the, I don't know. The first, is that the first metatarsal?
That's
Wait,
this
no,
down
that's
here.
below it. First metatarsal is below it. Would that just be the first middle phalange thing?
First middle phalange. Where's the other one for it to be the middle of?
Well, if it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, I just thought that was had a 1 in it.
Yeah, I love that you said it's definitely a number 1 phalange.
Okay.
What's this one?
Number 1 distal phalanx, the first
Yeah.
distal phalanx.
Then what's this one?
The first middle phalange.
What?
Right?
Middle of what? I don't know where there's a 3rd one down here for you to make this middle. I don't know where you're getting middle on this.
Is it just the first phalange?
Well, both these are the first phalange. You said this
Okay.
one was distal. What's this one?
Proximal?
Yes! What do you call this then?
Sorry, that took a lot of pulling in my brain.
No, it's all right. That's why we're doing this. It's taking a lot for everybody, I'm noticing. So, what do you call this now? Say it, please.
The proximal phalange.
Proximal phalange. Okay, so this. What do I call this? I need all the information. You're saying some of it in your head, but not out loud.
What is it not the first proximal phalange?
It is, but you didn't say first the first time. You just said
Oh,
proximal
sorry.
phalange, and you've got 5 proximal phalanges. You've got 5 proximal phalanges, 5 distal phalanges, and 4 middle phalanges. Right? Cool. Hey, so let's just make sure we got all this down. What's this again?
The first distal phalanx.
Cool. What's this?
That's the 5th proximal phalanx.
Yes. What's this?
The 3rd medial phalanx.
Medial or middle?
Middle.
Good job. What's this?
The 2nd metatarsal.
Well, I was pointing to this one, but I think you got the right idea.
The 3rd metatarsal, sorry.
No, you're fine. What's this?
Hold on 1 second. Oh no.
You're doing good.
Carpals?
Cuneiforms.
Cuneiforms, that's the weird one.
It is weird. So what's this one called?
That'd be the first cuneiform.
Well, they don't do it that way. So you've got 3 here. This one's by the midline of your body. So what do we call this?
What? The distal?
No, this one is the most medial. So what do we call it?
Medial?
Yes.
Medial
Medial.
cuneiform?
Yeah. So what do we call this one?
Lateral?
Yes. What do we call this one?
Medial, lateral, and
Yeah. What do you call something between 2 things?
thinking.
Malcolm in the...
Huh?
Oh, I was just thinking of a TV show I used to like called Malcolm in the... But I can't remember the last word.
Is it literally just middle?
Yes! That is the difference between medial and middle. Medial is towards the midline. Middle is between 2 things.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Miss Petrie. Let's review.
Okay.
Miss Petrie, what's this?
That is the distal phalanx number 1.
Cool. What's this?
That is middle phalanx number 2.
Cool. What's this?
That will be phalanx proximal number 3.
Awesome. What is this?
That is the... Dang it, I can't see. I'm sorry. Can I blow you up for a second?
Yeah.
Let me pinpoint you and then I can see better. There we go. Okay,
Yes.
which one are we pointing at? The metatarsal number 4?
Yes.
Oh.
What is this?
That is the cuneiform, and that would be the lateral cuneiform.
Yes. What is this?
That one is the, what is that called? Cuboid.
Yes. What's this?
And that is called a navicular.
Yes.
Navicular?
Yeah, navicular, I think. What's this?
Would that be the talus?
Well, your talus goes on top. That's this. I'm looking for your heel. What's your heel
that
bone?
would actually be the calcaneus.
Yeah, it's a horrible drawing, so it's not fair. This is your calcaneus. Good. Thank you very much. Miss Hanson, how are you feeling about all this?
Okay.
Good. Ms. Hanson, let's review for everybody, because I know how much you like to review in front of the class. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Hanson, we have a big shin bone in our leg. What's that bone called?
The tibia.
The tibia. It's got a little sister or little brother next to it. What's that called?
I always call it the fibula.
It is the fibula.
Okay. I thought it was something else.
Hey, by the way, there's this funny sesamoid bone floating over the top of this thing. What's it called?
Is that the patella?
That's the patella. Every gallon fella has a patella. Hey, there's this bump on the side of the tibia and on the side of the fibula. What do you call these bumps? Down by the ankle. Nobody's said it yet today.
Condyles?
What?
Are they condyles?
They are just like condyles, but they start with an M. The bumps on your ankle. Mal. E.
I don't know.
E. O.
Malleolus?
Malleoluses.
Malleolus.
Okay. This tibia rests on top of a bone before it rests on top of your calcaneal bone.
Talus?
This is the talus. Now we're going to kind of look at this down here. Okay. Let's see. What's this?
That's the distal phalange number 5.
Yeah. What's this?
That's the proximal phalange number 1.
Yeah. What's this?
Middle phalange number 3.
Yes. What's this?
That is the metatarsal.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Number 2.
Number 2. By the way, everybody, these are all tarsals down here. You have 5 tarsal bones, but they have different names. These are all tarsals, though. That's why these are called metatarsals. Anyway, what's this right here?
Cuiformis?
Cuneiform.
Cuiform?
Cuneiform.
Middle.
Cuneiform. Good. What's this one?
Navicular?
Yeah. Navicular. Yes, you're absolutely right. And what's this?
That's the cuboid.
Cuboid. And what's this big? What's the heel bone called?
The calcaneus.
Yeah, you did very well, don't you think? Yeah. Yeah, we got malleoluses threw you off, but I think you're gonna be okay, and I think you'll remember that tomorrow. Hey, Miss Bolotic. Miss Bolotic, what's this big bone here called? In your leg? Yeah. What's the little bone here called?
The fibula.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, everybody. Now, I think we're ready to look at the slideshow and learn a couple muscles. Oh, we're still presenting. Sorry. I didn't realize that. So you guys probably have a hard time seeing me. That's why you had to blow me up, huh, Miss Petrie? All right. Okay. Let's look at, they are now lumping muscles together in opposites. So they're showing you a muscle on top of the foot that goes to the toes. What would a muscle on top of the foot that goes to the toes be called, Miss Giannis?
Extensor digitorum brevis.
Yep. And then they're showing you a muscle on the bottom of the foot that goes to the toes. What would that be called, by the way, Miss Giannis?
On the bottom of the foot?
Mm-hmm.
It's flexor digitorum brevis.
Yeah, very cool. By the way, kind of an interesting note. Both these muscles have an origin on the calcaneus. Your heel bone sticks through the top of your foot too. So you step on it down here. Your heel bone here is down here. This is your heel bone, but it's also up here. And so the extensor digitorum brevis actually attaches to the top of the heel bone. The flexor digitorum brevis attached to the bottom of the heel bone, but it's all attached to the heel bone. Just interestingly enough, lots of stuff hooks to the heel bone. And you'll notice the big difference is the extensor digitorum brevis only goes to 3 toes. Don't worry, that probably means that you have an extensor digiti minimi, right? You don't need as much extensor power on your feet because extensors just lift your toes up out of the way. what you need is lots of flexor power. So we're going to find lots more extensive flexor stuff going on than extensor stuff going on. Boom. Boom. There we go. We've got some muscles on the outside of the foot, right? One's going to the little toe. Ms. Hanson, what would we call a little muscle on the outside of the foot going to the little toe?
Digiti minimus abductor.
Good. So by the way, the answer is abductor digiti minimi, but she said digiti minimi abductor, which is 100% correct. That's I so much more prefer that than you just kind of memorizing something. So yes, exactly. Exactly. And we've also got a muscle on the outside of the foot going to the big toe. Ms. Petrie, what would we call that muscle?
So that would be the abductor hallucis.
Hallucis.
Abductor hallucis.
Hallucis. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. The C
I'm
is an S.
sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Shh. I'm still learning how to pronounce this stuff. So already you can kind of look at this hand that they're showing down here, and it's showing where the abductor hallucis is, abductor digiti minimi, and flexor digitorum brevis. But even if you didn't memorize that, if I showed you the picture without the names, I think you could start to figure some stuff out. Right? If it's on the side, it's going to pull to the side, which makes it an abductor. If it's going to the hallucis, it's big toe. If it's going to the digiti minimi, it's little toe. Things like that. Does that make sense? So they've also got flexor digitorum brevis here, showing you that on the bottom of the foot. Cool. I think, yeah, that's it. So all we introduced here was 4 muscles: extensor digitorum, flexor digitorum, abductor hallucis, abductor digiti minimi. Right? But let me stop sharing here. But these 4 muscles beautifully outlay lots and lots of stuff we've learned. If it's on the side, it's got to pull to the side. What do we call when stuff gets pulled to the side? Abduction. Okay, then I only need one other question. Where is it going? It's going to the big toe, abductor hallucis. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's going to little toe, abductor digiti minimi. Then we saw stuff going to a whole bunch of digits, digitorum. It's on top, got to be extensor. Oh no, it's on bottom, got to be a flexor. Cool? Good. I'm glad to see some small nods. Because this is so much easier than just kind of like trying to stick. Can you imagine trying to literally stick some of this stuff in your head? Even with the bones and stuff, that's why I'm trying to teach it to you this way. I don't want you to really memorize. I want you, when you see something like this, to be like, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You already kind of know that, you know? And then you know these are all phalanges, right? And then we describe them using terms we already know. Distal, proximal, middle, right? And we know these are tarsals, so these have to be metatarsals. We're going to later learn these are carpals, and so these have to be metacarpals. That's how your feet and hands work. They're very, very similar. I promise you all this works for your hands, right? Cool. Questions? Thoughts? Anything?